questions for Tucker.
Tucker, you talked to your dad, and you talked about your shoulder a little bit in your rehab since you've been back about a week full go. How's it feel? How'd the rehab go? How do you feel now?
Shoulder's been good. I've had no real problems with it. I think most of it now is just getting back into game shape and honestly even practice shape. But it's also kind of a mental thing of just trying to trust it again. Battled it for most of the part of the season, so I was protecting it a lot and just trying to get back to the point where I can not even think about what I'm doing with it and just trusting that it's healthy now, because it is. And I think each day that I'm out there, I'm feeling more and more comfortable and ready to get back out there.
What was the rehab like? Were you able to do cardio, I assume? Any strength? What were you able to do during the rehab?
The first month was literally nothing. It was just kind of braced up. Then it was in about another 2 to 3 weeks before you could run, jump. And then once you kind of hit that point, it was, you got to build back up into it. Can't just go, run a bunch of sprints the first day. But I think it's gradually gotten better, and obviously got a long ways to go as far as conditioning wise. But it's certainly improved in the last week, and I think it's came back a little quicker than I was expecting, and continue to work to get to that point that I need to be at.
How have you adjusted to West Virginia? I mean, you lived in corner of Nebraska and Iowa your whole life. Now you and the whole family have moved. How have you adjusted?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously you having the guys around me and just being able to spend time with them and kind of enjoy Morgantown together has been a blast. But it's definitely different. I think most people, I don't take the drive to Pittsburgh to the airport for granted, for sure. The views are very different than looking at cornfields when you have to drive everywhere. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a blast. Change of scenery has been cool, and just the people here have been amazing and very supportive. So I'm looking forward to my time here.
A lot of guys that have accomplished as much as you have, during your career, going to their last year, and they pretty well feel like they know about themselves. You got a lot to prove to yourself, I suspect. Big 12 and a new place, and that. How driven are you as compared to that?
Yeah, I think no matter where I am, I'm always trying to prove myself, and just always trying to get better and make improvements to wherever I'm at, and improvements to my game. But I think this year, with it being a new group and kind of a new start, I'm just excited to go prove as a group what we're about, and go try and win as many basketball games as possible. And I think the group we have is very motivated to do so, and I think the work that we've put in each and every day is continuing to build on top of that, and get to the point that we need to get to when it comes to season time.
You've seen Big 12 basketball on television and played some teams along the way. What's the difference? What's the difference between what you played and what you're going to see every day once you get in the league?
The biggest difference is size. Obviously, I think that's the most obvious one. As soon as you walk in the gym, you look at a Big 12 team, and then you look at a Valley team. Size is different, especially at the 5 position. But I think style of play is not crazy different. I think the Valley is actually very similar to the Big 12 in style of play, and just kind of the way it's officiated. I mean, it's the same officials. It's the same group of officials as the Big 12 as they have in the Valley. So it's officiated very similarly. It's very physical. Rebounding is a huge piece of it. So I think as far as style of play, obviously you got to adjust to the size and the speed of everything. But style of play, I think it's fairly similar. Obviously, just at another level.
I imagine there's more speed and quickness in the Big 12 than what you've faced. Even maybe that may even be bigger than the size.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you get better athletes at this level, but I think the way that the officials have a lot of say in how the game's going to be played. So I think having those same officials is going to be what you can get away with, what you can't, and then you just got to get prepared to go up against 7-footers every day, and guards that can guard all 5 positions, and it'll certainly be an adjustment, but an adjustment I'm looking forward to.
Tucker, what are the pluses and minuses to spending your summer trying to get to know 12 other guys, and not only get to know the personalities, but also their games and how they like to play, and how does that mix with how you like to play, and what are the pluses and minuses to that?
I think well, it's very similar to actually last year. We had 10 new guys on our roster last year at Drake, and then this year I think it's obviously very similar. We got 12, 13 new guys now. So I think the pluses are it's a new group, so you get to make, you got new friends, you got people you're hanging out with every day, and then you got new teammates that it takes an adjustment and you got to learn. But I think everybody's just trying to figure out where to put each other in the best spots, and I think each day you see the improvements of people kind of knowing how to play with each other, and and then I just got thrown back in the mix a week ago, so it kind of changes a little the dynamics a little bit, and then you got Joe coming back when we get back in the fall, so I think everybody's kind of feeling it out, but I think it's gone fairly well, and you can see the improvements every day of getting comfortable with everybody.
Joseph was telling a story about how you're pretty good using Iowa on the new college football game.
Yeah, their defense had them rattled a little bit.
He blamed it on his playbook.
Yeah, well, he had other excuses. We'll see. And I beat him again, so I told him he needed to practice today. Maybe we can play again tomorrow.
You know your dad's system better than probably even some of his assistants because you've been around him. I know Yesifu knows it a little bit. What are you telling the guys? What's your message to the guys as they learn how he wants them to play and how you guys play your style?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, especially with so many new guys, there's honestly not a lot of guys that know exactly what he wants, and everybody's different, and which is great. But I also see it from the player's perspective a little bit, and I see it from his perspective a little bit of just knowing what he wants. So I'm trying to be that, the voice of maybe seeing both sides and trying to help. And honestly, even some of the, he's pretty open-minded to, always being creative and new ideas, and some of the guys and some of the assistants and then some of the guys of what they've done in the past. It's kind of balancing the two of, fitting our system, but also knowing what they're good at. So, it's trying to kind of be that voice of, seeing both sides and being somebody they can come to with questions that, if they don't really want to ask him, or they can always come to me, and just trying to always help out the best I can and stay positive with everybody.
I was going to say, you're the guy nominated to have to go to the coach when the players say, hey, we're running too much, our legs are tired, that kind of thing. You go to your mom too? How does that work?
I don't think that'd go. I think we'd be running more.
Tucker, what are the pluses and minuses of being a coach's kid, playing for your dad? I'm sure they're both sides of it, right?
Yeah, I think the pluses are, especially just the day-to-day of, being able to experience it together, and especially probably 5-10 years from now, you'll look back at it and realize how special it is, because I think this is the first year I've realized how quick it's gone. I feel like it was just yesterday walking in as a freshman, and feel like you have, a lot of years left, and it goes by quick, and this is it. But being able to experience it together and, experience all this, and I know we're both really excited for my final year to be here, and I think the struggles of it are, there's expectations. There's, there's a lot of accountability to, bringing it every day, and, his expectations, my expectations, the outside's expectations are all higher from that point, because you're going to get judged in a little differently than probably everybody else.
Which do you think is harder, playing for your dad or coaching your son?
I don't know. That'd be a tough one. I think we both do a fairly good job of trying to keep it as normal as possible. Obviously it's hard to, but there's a fine line of when it's basketball time, and then when we kind of go golfing or spend time together outside of that. But I don't know. That'd be probably a better question for him. But there's times I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know how hard it is for him.
Do you guys put it behind you when you go home? I mean, or does practice carry over, or the good play or the bad one?
Yeah, I know when to just not call him.
I was just saying, when you were a kid growing up and you were sitting in the car with him, you were driving places, did you just talk about the game at all? I mean, was that a big part of it, or was he purposeful about talking about other things?
Oh yeah, I mean we obviously had discussions like outside of basketball, but
Yeah.
you know, we talked about basketball a lot. I think my mom would even get annoyed that all the dinner table conversation all was basketball. So, but it was cool to kind of be involved and learn, especially, you know, when I got to high school and he became a head coach, to kind of like see it firsthand of, you know, what's going on. And I know that's my aspirations whenever I'm done playing, is to, you know, get into the coaching profession. But kind of learning from him, and then, you know, it kind of made that transition of coming to college basketball a little smoother too. You know, watching film, and he sits there all night and watches film. So if I'm not playing the video game, I'm probably watching it with him. So, but it was really cool to, you know, get to see it firsthand, because not everybody gets to experience that, and you know, see what really goes on behind the scenes.
Was there ever a player he said, hey, be like him, play like him? Was there ever one guy?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of them. He expects me to be everybody, I think.
Right.
No,
Combination of all.
He like, we'd watch, and, you know, if he sees something that he's like, that he thinks I could pick up on, and, you know, it's just little things here and there. I think, we had a guy, Garrett Sturts, at Drake. We're nothing alike when we play, but there's a lot of things he does that, you know, as a freshman, he knew I could try and pick up on. And, but he had a lot of really good players, so, you know, just trying to pick up little things from everybody.
So it wasn't Larry Bird then?
Nah, probably not. I don't think I can do what he do.
Doug, I don't know
Great.
how much, you know, he lets you in on, you know, who he's recruiting or hiring, but I mean, you played with and against some of the guys that are here. Some of the coaches you played for too. Were there names you're like, oh, that'd be good. I've seen him play, or I've worked with him before. That it makes sense based on what you know.
Yeah, certainly. You know, especially early on when, you know, he got the job, and there wasn't a huge staff put in place yet. For a lot of time, it was just him and Nick, and, you know, then Coach Frazier got involved, and, you know, Joe's kind of a late one. But there's a lot of guys that I would reach out to, and, you know, try and build that relationship as well, because we didn't really have a roster in place for them to get to know either. So trying to be that guy that, you know, they can kind of get comfortable with on the roster, as well as getting to know the staff.
So you're not going to tell me who you did reach out to that didn't take the bait, but the guys you did talk to. Who was that, and then how did those conversations go? What were you pitching? What were you telling them that made them make the move?
I mean, a lot of it's just, we have a lot of seniors, so I know this whole senior group, and even some of the younger guys, like, it feels like everybody in this locker room has something to prove, which kind of goes along with, like, this group message of we got a lot to prove here. And I think the seniors, you know, we get 1 year left. Everybody kind of found a new start, a new beginning, and we get to do it together. And you know, there's a lot of guys in the locker room that have been, you know, the best players on maybe teams that haven't won as much, and then there's been guys that haven't played as much on teams that have really won. So it's kind of finding that, you know, kind of proving themselves as we're trying to win at this level, and then, you know, as a group, just really come together and be able to put it out there.
Seems like, just from watching today, there's a lot of interchangeable pieces out there on the floor between the ones and twos and the twos and threes. Is that kind of like what your dad would like to see with his basketball, you know, strategy, philosophy-wise?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, based on the roster he's put together each year, I feel like it's changed a little bit, you know, just trying to put the guys in the best positions possible that you have. But I think in the last couple of years, he's gone to a lot of, you know, almost 2 point guards out there, and being able to, you know, really guard the ball and get after it from the 1 and 2 spot. And then, you know, the 3 and 4 have always been pretty versatile, especially offensively, you know, kind of creating mismatches. And but yeah, I think that the roster itself this year, you know, has a lot of versatility to it. There's a lot of guys that can play multiple positions, and offensively it's just trying to find the mismatches that we can put out there, and then defensively it's, you know, really getting to the ball and, you know, playing together defensively and that physicality.
And then also from today, another observation, and I realize they're just freshmen, so a long way to go, but Tenner and Powell, it looked like they at least were not afraid to compete. I'm just wondering what you've seen from those two.
Yeah, I love the freshmen that we've brought in. You know, JP and KJ both, they compete every day. You know, and it's good to have some youth in the locker room too. You know, as a fourth and fifth year senior, you're probably not, as giddy and goofy as you were as a freshman, because I remember being that guy as a freshman. Kind of having that in the locker room is needed. Especially KJ really brings that smile every day, which, kind of just lights up everybody else's mood, which is great. So, but as far as basketball players, they compete every day, and, I really think both of them have a chance to really help us this year.
You guys took a tour last year, I guess, to Spain. Benefits of it, on court, off court, what's going to be the benefit of going there?
Yeah, so last year, again, we had 10 new guys, so it's a pretty similar situation of just trying to get to know everybody. So getting to spend those times together, and it kind of builds that chemistry a little bit. You're only in college once, and you're traveling the world, which is pretty awesome, especially when you have 13 teammates with you. And as far as basketball wise, it's a little bit. It's the first time you're playing against somebody that's not us, so it's nice to kind of see where you're at. And it's not going to be perfect, I'm going to tell you right now, but it certainly will help us make strides and see where we have to improve on when we get back to school in fall. So I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing where we're at. But I think everybody's excited for the trip, and get to really build the chemistry even more with this trip.
Describe your dad's culture, Drake, and what he expects to do here.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to demand a lot. He's pretty demanding, and just kind of bringing it every day. Consistency, I'd say, is one of his biggest things. Of just, there's going to be ups and down days, but when you're facing adversity, we got to find ways to fight through it. And I think in the past you'd see that with teams where we'd get down and we'd find a way. It might not look pretty, but we're going to find a way to get the job done. But I think that starts with kind of the practice mentality of just bringing it every day. But I'd say that's probably his biggest part.
On the way.
Yeah.
Tucker, what's it like playing against Oconee?
Well, we had a heck of a game.
Games, too.
Yeah, we went to triple overtime against each other, so that was wild. But he had a great game that game. He's a very versatile defender. Can shoot it, make plays. He's a great screener offensively. Probably one of the more underrated parts of his game. That I've noticed since playing with him, as he really knows how to screen. He's a great rebounder. And, that the versatility defensively at 6'8", and being able to move and guard the point guards, guard the fours. Go up there and rebound and bang with the fives if he had to go get the switch. But really just his versatility and athleticism, and his IQ has really impressed me as well in the last few months.
Did he guard you often? 2 years in, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I know how you did, I guess, but did he make, just because of his skill, did he make you play differently? Could you not do what you wanted to see, or did you have to work with what he did? Yeah,
it was a little different. We guard a lot differently than he's used to at UIC, but every game plan's differently. But you certainly have to adjust for his size and speed, and try to out IQ him, I guess would be my best thing when you're trying to go up against those really good wing defenders like him.
What's your backstory with Jake Allen? I assume you know him well.
The truth, he kicked my butt in high school, but he's a great kid. I'm really glad he's here. But we were high school rivals. Had a lot of respect for each other in high school, and I kind of knew of each other and followed each other, obviously playing against each other. And I knew he had a great career. And then my dad got the job. He just kind of reached out and said he wanted to change scenery. I said, yeah, if you want to come on. And I asked my dad, and now he's here, and I know he loves it here too. So it's kind of cool, both of us from the same town, and end up in Morgantown, West Virginia.
You don't hold the Valley stuff over his head?
I feel it's hard because we both had our career highs against each other, so I don't know if either of us have much room to talk. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know your dad's got a couple of scholarships left. If you had a say in it, what would you like to see him go get if he could get somebody?
I think he's going to stay true to what he wants, but I think he's going to fill some voids after seeing some this summer, he's able to feel it out a little bit of, what direction he wants to go with that. And, I'm going to put the trust in him to make the best decision. I know the rest of the group will too.
So with rehab, from doing the program, helping build it, put it together, being that, kind of bridge between your dad and the team a little bit, how do you squeeze in time on improving your game and yourself? You have to remember, hey, I've got to, do these things so I can be better this year.
Yeah, when you come back from rehab, it's kind of scary when you shoot that first day and you suck. I mean, you're like, oh boy, am I ever going to get back to it? But I had a labrum surgery the year before, so I kind of got over that mental part a little quicker this year because I recognized it last year and it came back just fine. Just took a week or two. But yeah, just kind of like I said earlier, getting that confidence back in the shoulder and just putting the work in, every day and just continue to try and get better and improve the game in all areas and kind of see where that puts me.
Is that a time you can clear your head of all these other things around you? It's obviously in a first year in a new program.
Yeah, I mean the people around, we got a lot of staff that I'm used to, and we're getting the players. We're all getting closer, so the comfortability of all being together, the formula kind of stays the same of just working. I don't think there's too many outside distractions, no matter where we are. I think the work's going to be the work, and you got to put it in if you want to be successful. And I think the formula just stays the same here as it did in the past.
Tucker, with you and the seniors, just trying to prove yourselves, do you have any form of pressure between collectively as a group just going into your last year?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think there's pressure every year. I think every year I've came into having pressure of being able to perform, and but I think as this group we know. I think the biggest advantage is we know it's our last year, so we want to put all the work in possible to get to where we want to get to. But I think as far as handling it stays the same. I mean, if you put the work in, you're going to be successful, and I think that's part of the advantage is everybody wants to put that work in, knowing it's their last year.
Tucker, thank you.